the world. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Fus Ting Da Mawnin, live from Studio 2, Wave 105.9. We are broadcasting from the foothills of the Bell China Bridge right here in Belize City. We start off the morning show with the general weather forecast, and it's for May 14, 2025, and it's for 6 a.m. General situation, generally fair weather prevails. Sunny with some, the 24 forecast is sunny with some cloudy spells today and cloudy at times tonight. Showers will be isolated. The marine conditions, the winds will be blowing from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots. The sea state light chop, moderate. Waves 2 to 6 feet in height. Temperatures along the coast and the highs 88 degrees Fahrenheit or 76 degrees Fahrenheit. The lows inland 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 72 degrees Fahrenheit lows. Alerts general. The outlook is generally fair with light or no rain expected for Thursday and Thursday night. The tides, a high tide will occur at 10:16 this morning and a low at 5:53 p.m. Tomorrow a high is expected at 12:06 a.m. and a low at 4:48 a.m. The sun rises at 6:17 p.m. and will set. Sun sets today at 6:17 p.m. and it rises at 5:20 a.m. tomorrow morning. The moon sets at 6:32 this morning. At 6:32 this morning and will rise at 8:19 p.m. That's the weather forecast courtesy of the Belize Meteorological Service, prepared by Crystal Rosales. We'll take our first commercial break and we will be right back with business as usual.
In May, make Benny's your one-stop shop for appliances. We have Sankey refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, washers and dryers, freezers, smart TVs, and so much more for up to 19% off. Get amazing deals for mom and appliances all May long, and don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase to be a part of our Homecation raffle to win $10,000 in December. Benny's, quality and savings.
Every purchase at Design Depot gives you a chance to win one of two $2,500 shopping sprees. Design Depot, all in one place. Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway.
Welcome back to Fus Ting Da Mawnin, live from Studio 2, Wave 105.9. We're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube on Fus Ting Da Mawnin. A lot of catching up to do. Oh, okay. A lot of catching up to do. First off, the Ministry of Health put out an advisory yesterday that there is basically an outbreak of measles. And let me, for the sake of clarity, let me just let me read what the press release says. It says, and it's dated May the 12th, and it says measles outbreak in Belize, public health update. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, MOHW, hereby provides an update on the ongoing measles outbreak in Belize. As previously communicated, 2 cases of measles were confirmed through laboratory testing on April 12, 2025. Additionally, 5 clinically diagnosed cases were identified. All epidemiological epidemiologically linked to one of the initial cases. Through heightened surveillance efforts, the MOHW is currently investigating additional suspected cases in Spanish Lookout linked to travel to Chihuahua, Mexico. Given these developments, MOHW strongly advises the public that there is ongoing measles transmission in the Spanish Lookout community and urges caution when visiting the area if you are not vaccinated. As investigations are ongoing, the number of positive cases remains undetermined at this time. Surveillance is ongoing and the public will be kept informed accordingly. To safeguard the health and well-being of our population, the MOHW issues the following vaccination and exposure guidelines. Who should get vaccinated? Well, children, 2 doses as part of routine immunization at 12 and 18 months of age. Unvaccinated individuals over 18 months old, 2 doses given 1 month apart. Individuals who received only 1 dose, an additional booster dose is recommended. Persons unsure of their vaccination status, 1 dose is advised. Travel guidance. Travelers 12 months and older ensure vaccination at least 2 weeks prior to travel. Unvaccinated travelers under 1 year old consult a healthcare provider for guidance. Exposure to measles. What to do? Immediate action: get vaccinated within 3 days of exposure to prevent infection. Contact the nearest healthcare provider for further instructions. Measles, mumps, rubella, MMR vaccine. While the MMR vaccine is safe and effective, it is not recommended for individuals who are currently pregnant, those with a severe allergy to a previous MMR vaccine dose, persons who are immunocompromised. Guidelines following measles exposure. Vaccinated individuals, no quarantine required. Unvaccinated individuals quarantined for 21 days to prevent disease spread. Unvaccinated individuals vaccinated after exposure quarantined for 14 days. The MOHW thanks the public for their cooperation in vaccine uptake and adherence to public guidelines. We remain committed to ensuring good health for the population and will continue to provide timely updates as new information emerges. For further details, inquiries, you can contact 0800 MOH CARE. That's 0800 664 2773. That's the advice by the Ministry of Health as it relates to measles. It is a disease that is highly contagious. The Ministry of Health in a previous press statement explained that measles is a very highly contagious illness that can possibly cause death. In terms of it can cause complications, including the swelling of the brain. Of course, the outward manifestation of the disease are these rashes, which are not necessarily a threat to health in terms of causing death, but there are other conditions that accompany measles, including like I said, brain swelling, that can cause death. The Ministry of Health says that they have been out doing their vaccination as per normal, and they have, I think, issued somewhere in the region of about 1,500 doses, which is not nearly enough to ensure that that the entire population is vaccinated for the mumps. The measles. The measles disease. But they do go out, and I was privy to one visit over the weekend. It must have been Saturday. I think Saturday. And the personnel from the Ministry of Health actually visit people, places where children have not been vaccinated, and they actually have a van where they go around. You could put this up for me, Samba, please. They have a van where they go around, and then they issue the vaccine to the public. It's a very good initiative. It's one that ensures higher or greater coverage for people in the communities, especially in areas where there may not necessarily be enough information, or people are not as aware of the need for vaccines to be administered. And the Ministry of Health personnel goes around and they issue these vaccines, which I think is a very, very good thing in ensuring universal coverage. We're not at that point, but the Ministry of Health does have this, and it's a program that I know has been going on for very many years. The outreach of these mobile clinics, if you will, where Ministry of Health personnel and nurses are in the transport, and they actually have the vaccines to administer to children, especially very young children, those who are in the system, are recognized in the system as having been treated or taken care of in the system, and they go and they target those that don't follow up on vaccines and that kind of thing. I really I like the fact that takes place, because it does ensure that there is greater coverage of the vaccine. You got the picture there, Sam? Put it up for me. Yeah, huh? Yeah, the van, correct. That's the Ministry of Health. That's the Ministry of Health mobile, one of the mobile units that goes around administering vaccines, and and they're very meticulous. They have the cards, the children's cards, and everything, and all the information, dates as to when the children get their vaccines, that kind of thing. So kudos to them for this kind of yeoman's work, work that goes far beyond what is expected of them in terms of them being in a clinic and that kind of thing. Anyway, enough of that. It is 7:30, right, Samo? Yeah, 7:32 actually over time. We need to take our first commercial break, BL, and we'll be right back.
Keeping your family close is the most important thing to you. At Cellular World, we've got everything for you. Enjoy moments of magic on products like budget phones as low as $59, tablets starting at $129, and cool bundles as low as $69. Plus, speakers, headphones, monitors, printers, accessories, and so much more. Even better yet, let Mother's Day be a never-ending vibe with a wide selection of JBL auto systems, fully backed up with a 1-year warranty, starting at only $39. But that's not all. You can also get yourself a Samsung Galaxy phone, tablet, buds, or smartwatch, and save even more with a 1-year local warranty included. Cellular World has the tech that suits your needs. Visit us at any 6 locations in Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, and Orange Walk, or shop via our virtual online store on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp us at 615-5141.
Evening, everybody. Not 1, not 2, but 3 fan on, TV, and all the lights. Hey!
Small changes, like turning off lights and appliances when leaving the room, can make a big difference in your energy usage. Talk to your family about energy management today. Do a little, conserve a lot. Need help? The BEL 24/7 app has tools to get you on the right track. Download today, and let's talk energy management.
Welcome back. Having dispensed the issue with the measles, there are a number of things that need to be looked at. Not least, of course, we have been off for a couple of days, so I need to rewind back to at least on Friday, where the teachers came out and they had this massive demonstration in Belmopan to tell the government of Belize, the PUP administration, the PUP, that they want their money. 8.5% increase to be exact. and the teachers were joined by the public service union and others to clamor for this 8.5% increase. Subsequent to that, there was a meeting, if I'm not mistaken, held yesterday, with a negotiating team from the government and the joint unions to discuss the way forward. And apparently there was a proposal given by government to the teachers and the other union members, and now this proposal will be taken back to the membership. I am absolutely certain that proposal does not include the full 8.5% increase to teachers, and if it does include it, it will be possibly in a staggered manner, meaning a couple of percentages first, and then 1 year, and then next year next percentage, that kind of thing. This is the way the PUP operates, and it is sad to know that they treat these teachers with such disregard, with such disdain, with some level of nonchalantness, as if they are not important, as if these are people who do not matter in the grander scheme of things. And teachers do. And teachers, just like every other working individual in this country, are suffering the brunt of massive inflation that has been taking place since 2020. As soon as the PUP administration took office, you saw the price of goods begin to go up and go up and go up, and they continue to go up on a daily basis, whereby things that ordinarily would have been able to afford. A caller called us here a few days ago, said that potted meat is at $3.50 for one, or potted meat. Canned beef is no longer one of those items that is eaten by the poor. It is something that is eaten by those who have a lot of money. $8-9 for a can of canned beef. I mean, that is just crazy. And while this is taking place, Sam, I'm sending you a picture earlier, from early this morning. Yeah, I want to put that up for me. While this is taking place, the lavish spending by ministers of government. If you will, zoom into that vehicle them. That what Toyota Prado, that Toyota, that one of these high-end vehicles. This is a brand new ministerial ride that we're talking about. A minister, they drive this wrong now. Brand new vehicle, and teachers can't get the 8.5% increase. What kind of vehicle that, boy? What? Haval. I think that was Haval. Look like a Haval. This is administration change, and they are where the ministers in a roll wrong with. Meanwhile, teachers can't get their salary increase. This is crazy. It's unbelievable how this PUP administration operates. They don't care about the people. All they do is care about themselves, and this is testament by way of the way in which when they call the one the one in the Ministry of Baby Talk. This is testament by the way how dismissive Baby Talk is about the increase, whereby she outrightly said, we will get the raise because they appreciate the hard work that we do. Which hard work any CEO do? I would really want to know what kind of hard work the CEOs then do. And for their salary increase, they're not leave it a money. Huge. Then it all that 16 and 18% increase. And the teachers who have not had a salary increase since 2020, have not had a salary adjustment since 2020, are the ones Val from Caribbean Motors. I can't read that one there. Yeah, but yeah, since 2020, teachers and public officers have not had their salaries adjusted, and the kind of cost increase in cost of living is massive. We cannot keep up with it. Good morning. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw last week the interview and of the CEO of education, along with, I think it's a Miss Congra, who used to be principal, I think, at STC years ago. Not quite sure if I have the name correct. But that person that was at STC and she's worked in education, she's a highly qualified ex-teacher. Now, the CEO, the comments made were atrocious. The one that caught my attention was, and next week we're celebrating Teachers' Day. The irony of it, we're going to spend about $50,000. I think that's the number she said, to celebrate this. In other words, she's telling you, man, we're going to spend money for next week, and we're going to do with this. What is wrong with that CEO? That shows you the callousness, the lack of empathy for the strife of the teachers.
Yep.
Now, mind you, I am all in favor of one day having some of the teachers, not all, but the ones that do not deliver properly that to them, because there are many of them, not all, but many that teaching is just a job. We have horrible results in reading, literacy, and everything. But then nobody speaks. You can't fire on teacher if the outcome is not a good result. In other words, if you have 28 children and you teaching them to read, and only 2 know how to read, well then to me that is grounds for firing.
Yeah, we have a problem, yeah.
But you can't do that, you see. You can't do that because the unions will be the first to kick in and all kind of thing. But anyway, the CEO, and I have seen incompetent CEOs in my lifetime because I was at 60. But this one takes the cake. This CEO really takes the cake. When she said that, plus other things that she said, but that kind of like personal kick by your shin, like when you knock your shin, that thing hurt bad. That is what that was. Instead of just continue talking about administration and maybe budget and maybe they can't do it now, I mean support for her to support her argument. But then to kick the people on the shin and say, the irony of it, we're going to spend money on her next week and they're doing this to us. That is just horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they got a raise, no?
Yes, and that was what is amazing about her interview. She says that, well, we didn't ask for a raise. The Prime Minister's side fit because we work so hard that we get a raise. I mean that we are recognized for the hard work that we do. That is what she said,
And then that same Prime Minister, that same son of Belize, because he's the son of our earth here in Belize, that's the first one that said, we're going to take 10% out of it because you never make no sacrifice.
Yes.
No nurse, no public servant made any sacrifice during COVID. And I could tell you they did because my son was working at KHH.
Of course.
So horrible long hours, sometimes 20 hours. But they were told that they did not make any sacrifice. It is just amazing. But my word out to the unions, all of them from Mr. Dean Goodall, the day you accepted the 10% take away from your salary with the sorry excuse that you made no sacrifice, and there was not an outrage over that day, in my view, the unions are a non-entity. They might have right now numbers, like you're saying, but there were numbers and so, but that first damage is like in boxing, that first knock to your liver is what will end the fight.
Yep.
The day they accepted that without rebuttal, and they did so with faith in helping the country, well, if that is what we need to get out of COVID recession, and that is what they did. But that day was the thermometer for these sons of belief to know that they can do as they please with the unions. So I hope this is a wake-up call for the unions. And please, we have to have a rebuttal to see you saying the irony of it, we're going to spend $50,000, which is about half of her yearly pay now.
Yes.
So poor thing, she worked so hard and out of she pay, they take out money for celebrate Teachers' Day. This is like a kindergarten toddler talking to the citizens of the
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, but that's what it is. You know, I think sometimes the letters, I know she's not a doctor, she's not a PhD, but we have a lot of those floating around. Sometimes I think the PhD means probably hiding deficiency. Because some PhDs, my grandpa used to say, darling, some people go through university, you know, and some of them just the university go through them. But these are the sorrow words of a CEO that's supposed to encompass all the teachers and treat them with fairness. And then she throws in their face, and we have spend money on next week, you know. It's
Yeah.
a dead Hillary.
Yeah.
I want to come do with this. That's the irony of it. Oh my Lord!
That I like that.
When I hear that.
It almost like you're saying, man, but uno no satisfied, uno like we did do all of this for uno, and uno no satisfied, man. But this is the
T-shirt or something. I don't know.
this is the condescending nature of these people, Madeira. This is how condescending they are. They look down on you as if you are nothing, and the little that they do for you, you must be praising the Almighty for it all day and every day.
As I have said before, then broke your leg, and you must give them thanks because they hand you some crutches.
Crutch, right?
That is it. Anyway, I need to go work. Have a good day.
All right, Madeira. Thanks for the call. Yeah, and perfectly in order. They buck a foot, and then when they hand you the crutches, you must be eternally thankful for them for having given you the crutches. No man, but you may broke my foot in the first place, and this is exactly what the PUP administration has been doing to teachers and to public officers in general, police officers, and that kind of thing. It's sickening and it's sad to know that, for example, police officers have to take on external duties. They mine what Chinese shop. They mine what blacks factory. They mine what gas station. When they are fully employed by the state, and the state is not taking care of them. I heard the president of the BNTU that there was this threat that they would be taken from them in terms of salary, can be taken from them in terms of salary if they chose to go out and demonstrate. And she pointed out something that is very, very concerning. And we all know that this is what actually takes place. She said, if you don't have to do a bake sale, if you don't have to sell garnaches or bake bun or whatever, you do it for supplement to the income so that you can come out there and support the union. Well, as to that, I will agree that many teachers have something going on the side, and like the president mentioned, selling some food stuffers or the other. It says this is what we do on a normal basis to supplement their income. That is one thing, and we understand this is how the press for resources is, that you have to try find something else to do in order for you to be able to make ends meet. But what was interesting in that same comment as well was that the union actually has a strike fund. The union has a strike fund, and the teachers pay their dues for that very reason. In the event that there is a need for teachers to be out of classroom for a prolonged period of time, the union has the wherewithal, or is supposed to have the wherewithal, to be able to pay the teachers, if not the entire salary for that day that they missed, a portion of it. But these are two competing things in my head in terms of how do you reconcile that. But I go back to the need for people to have to take on an additional job. They have to take on, they sell bread, they sell bun, they make tamales per weekend, they make turkey dinner, they sell wangla seed fudge and that kind of thing. And this is real. This is real. This is what teachers and public officers have to go through every day. And I digress from the original point of police officers having to be in the stores watching grocers, watching gas stations, watching cement block factory. The other day I went into one of those stores and I look like they're all over the place too. I went into a Chinese store to buy some soft drinks, and a very nice, well-dressed young man. Apparently they must have just come out of training school, but in full number 1 uniform, standing right at the door. Good afternoon, sir. How can we help you? And I gonna get my thing and I carried at the counter. Same time, the owner of the establishment, a Chinese man, came out and gave him a burger and put it front and look like this is the part of the payment where we receive at least a meal. It looks like, because I didn't see him pay. Maybe I'm just misjudging, but nonetheless, the police officer turned around and I said, my brother, can you think I could get one washed down? So I didn't hesitate to assist the police officer, because I really believe they do a service that is underappreciated in this country. So I gave him the wash down. But the thought run into my mind again, as I have been saying today, these men, these women in these places ought not to be exposed to that kind of thing. They should not be exposed to that kind of thing. It's similar to these checkpoints that pop up over the city, 2, 3 sometimes on the same street, because these police officers see it as a hustle point. If they don't want soft drink, they want $10 for buy water, If they're not that, then what $2 to buy coffee. I mean, this is just madness. But here you have the CEOs receiving 16% increase to their salaries, and the ordinary man, the one who is actually turning the wheel, the man who is actually ensuring that work is done, those people at the Treasury Department, those people at the customs and immigration and the police and the Coast Guard and the BDF, those who are actually on the ground doing their work, they're not being paid what they're supposed to be paid. And when they ask for a raise, they back. Good morning, hello.
Good morning, Fonso.
Yes, sir.
I need to congratulate you, sir, because you know what you are talking about, and you stand up against people who want to push us around, sir. Thank you for doing a wonderful job on. You stand up against the giant, sir.
I know I'm get into that, and I appreciate your call. But yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about the teachers.
Yeah.
How will the teachers accept proposals when there were no proposals for CEO and cabinet secretary?
Mm-hmm.
All they were told to work hard. Who no harder than the teachers, sir? And make I tell you something, sir. Teachers are here every time, every day, our students.
Every day.
Sir, CEO and cabinet secretary come and go. Why you are slap the teacher with proposals, sir? And I know you know I just slap them because it was not budgeted, sir. You know they're in the budget. So, but I want to encourage the teachers to make the right decision on that voting day, sir. And I will be there to register my vote as well, sir. Because this out of order, man. I want to end by saying teachers make CEOs, teachers make cabinet secretaries, sir. Teachers make prime ministers and ministers.
Right.
Why the disrespect on teachers? Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Indeed. The level of disregard that they have for teachers and other public officers, the police and so on, it is unimaginable. And then they turn around and they're prancing, driving around in these fancy sports utility vehicles, hundreds of thousands of dollars under their feet. Carl. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Something. The work where CEO do, isn't that a contractual work, like say? Because then, I mean, say if this person in the minute, then are they going right?
Generally, yes.
Well, no, so no. That's why I say if they are in their contract. So I can't see how raise will be there. I mean, they're a contract.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, sir?
You are perfectly in order, sir.
Okay.
You are perfectly in order. Those CEOs, those CEOs, they get a portion. I think it's 20 or 25% of their salaries every year.
Okay.
This is like they sign on to these contracts and every year they get a percentage of their contract. So they're not like they don't get no raise, they get it on the tail end. But they get handsomely than this and not leave it on money,
I know.
This and not leave it on money.
Sure.
And then the teachers can't get nothing. Man gone. Yeah, they're not like they And if you were to ask anyone about what the CEOs do, they do very, 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 very little. Very, very little. They just go in at the place to instruct the workers there. The minister want this, and the minister want that, and the minister said this, and the minister said that. I don't know, get it done. And then they go about your business. This is how it works. This is how it works. This is just crazy. Crazy. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock. We'll take our grace coffee break. We'll do that, and when we come back, I want to talk about this this paving our street front our higher up in the Ministry of infrastructure. When street they bad all over the place, but for he one nice the hot mix now. We'll take that break, the grace coffee break, and we'll be right back.
Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Get ready for fantastic discounts. From now through to September 30th, Venice is having store-wide discounts on tools, paints, appliances, plumbing and electrical products, lights and fans, household items, and much, much more. Visit a Venice store near you to enjoy fantastic discounts from now through to September 30th, only at Venice. Quality and savings.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Evening, everybody. Not one, not two, but 3 fan TV and all the lights. Hey!
Small changes, like turning off lights and appliances when leaving the room, can make a big difference in your energy usage. Talk to your family about energy management today. Do a little, conserve a lot. Need help? The BEL 24/7 app has tools to get you on the right track. Download today and let's talk energy management.
Every purchase at Design Depot gives you a chance to win one of 2 $2,500 shopping sprees. Design Depot, all in one place. Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway.
Sarahoma ni du henno. Sarahoma garinago. Sarahoma ni du henno. Sarahoma giono. Creole and Garifuna now, fighting to adjust. We came from West Africa, they divided us. Now we come together, children of Belize, fighting to get over colonial disease. Africa gain yabi, Wamagwaru, Malisi gain yabi, Aleyet, Africa gain yabi, Malisi gain yabi, Africa gain yabi, Aleyet blue. Wamagwarugo, Nidu Heno, Wagia Garinago, Hamagiono, Owale Lun Wadamu Ridago. Aye. Alright. Sarahoma Nidu Heno, Sarahoma Garinago, Sarahoma Nidu Heno. Sarahoma Giono, Creole and Garifuna, fighting to adjust. We came from West Africa, they divided us. Now we come together, children of Belize, fighting to get over colonial disease. Africa gain yabi, Wamagwaru, Malisi gain yabi, Aleyet, Africa gain yabi, Malisi gain yabi, Africa gain yabi, Aleyet blue. Sarahoma nidu henno, Sarahoma garinago, Sarahoma nidu henno, Sarahoma giono, Creole and Garifuna, together we are one. You speak a different language, wish I could understand.
Welcome back to Wednesday's edition of Fus Ting Da Mawnin, live from Studio 2 Wave 105.9. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube at Fus Ting Da Mawnin. Yeah, before the break, I mentioned that I needed to talk about this and go right back to where we were as it relates to the kind of abuse that not only public officers but the public in general take at the hands of these higher ups in ministries. I'm gonna send you some pictures here, Sam. This fellow, you don't get it, yeah. This fellow actually works at the Ministry of, first of all, that the house there. That the house there. The fence alone. The mansion. And then watch out the drain. The early part of the drain, they got the stones and they cement it. And then front of your house black up. No, carry it back for me, Sam. I can describe the thing. Carl. Good morning, hello. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Ponto, just Friday, the one that made demonstration, Friday. I noticed the teachers and they have a green shirt. Why they never put on the blue shirt and mark tape and chalk them? Most of them have an election. That's the way they're trying to put on, like they show the Prime Minister how they vote there. Because most of them have on the blue shirt and mark tape and chalk. Don't make them tape and chalk now. Alright, all that I say.
Thank you. Yeah, I will come back to that. But yes, the first picture I will show the whole house. I'm gonna describe it, man. First of all, you got the bush right in front. No, go back. The first one you have right there. They have the bush and right there down on the ground. You say the how they do that drain there. That stones line up and you throw cement for hold it in a place so that not the wash way. Then you go to front of this house. The drain line from gang to gang. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks height. This time was about 200 foot length all the way to the end. And you pour the cement at the bottom and you got the brace there. Make the walls not collapse. Carl, good morning.
Hey, also please give me a minute to invite retirees, beneficiaries of the trust, to come out to Central Park in PG at 9 o'clock for our demonstration in collaboration with the countrywide demonstration that is going to happen today. So I am calling on all the retirees, come out, even if you have to come out in your wheelchair, come out with your van, come out with whatever. We need your support. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. So now, yeah, back again for me. It's I will keep on doing this. If any call comes in, I will deal with the call and then I'll come back to this one. I can't need to come back here. So, for heating the 4 blocks height, the drain, the 4 blocks height, cast the bottom on the 2 sides of the drain, and then you got the brace there in between, most about at 10 feet interval. So you brace the thing so they, collapse into itself. This concrete drain now collapse into itself. And then you look upon the mansion. Look upon the mansion. One segment of that mansion, the wall for the mansion, is as much as what people will pay for their house with the PUP and the bill. Give me the next picture. We'll show the mansion a little bit clearer, Sam. And this the Rivera era, I think, the time of the Rivera era of Belmopan. So, one segment of this fence with this balayagat, that enough to build one of the starter homes with the PUP the bill. But that besides the point. And then you have the mansion itself. How much money you the make so? How much money you the make so? If you got the size of house here, brother? How much money you the make, and how you the make the size of money there from the government? There's some questions. This house impressive. Anyway, so for you move from the house, so it you can't be satisfied by the fact that you don't have one of the nicest houses in the country. Front of your house have to get hot mix. Hot mix in an area that is in the outskirts of Belmopan proper, meaning that is not heavily trafficked. It is only you who go there. Only you go there. And I think that they up the street from this house here, they tell me one next CEO will live. So this stuff will show you how they could actually influence the infrastructure work of this country to be able to hot mix an area that is not even on a schedule to be hot mixed. One CEO Zetina live up the street, and one of their houses belong to the chief engineer. So show me the last picture there, Sam. This is the area right there. Nothing happened there. When I tell you nothing happened there, nothing happened there. No residents not there. Nobody not live back there except one CEO and a chief engineer. And you are telling me that then they expend government resources to hot mix the street? Something stinks in the state of Denmark. Something wrong. Something wrong. Are these the infrastructural projects that the Prime Minister says will be undertaken in the next budget year? Is this the kind of thing? The Riviera area in Belmopan, that's what I said. This is the Riviera area with nobody not there? Or is this being done to facilitate private enterprise? Or is this as a result of the fact that maybe they got people in an area there where they sell land, and in order for the land to become more valuable, that they put in this type of infrastructure for them? Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Something rotten in the state of Belize, where part them people use resources and they put down resources in areas that are underserved, and underserved because there is nobody living there. There's nobody living there. How can you justify something like this? This is the pure madness, man. This is the pure madness. And then you have streets all over the country, in cities and towns all over the country, that are in shambles. But you want to take precious resources and put it in areas where there is no one living except one CEO, our chief engineer. Where we get out of that? Good morning, hello.
Morning, Fonso.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks, man.
Extravagant houses and public street and things like that, so where only two people live.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this: if they paid for it out of their pocket, it is good. But if they did not, then there needs to be an investigation, similar to how they may investigate René Montero. You know?
Yeah.
And like I said, if they paid for it out of their pocket, and they could easily say, they pay it out of my pocket, but they hustle the money other ways, no? then it is good. But then fix streets for everybody else. One of them did that for a guy, Moody, and I don't know if he's not the chief engineer, suspect he is. But then guys, who's in charge of big projects for World Bank and things like that. So, a lot of hanky-panky going on in the place there.
Hold on. I can't support that, right? Because when we get sued, we take like, I don't know that no hanky-panky happened there, and I don't know that the man involved in no hanky-panky.
I know they say he involved, but
okay. Okay. When projects go on, man, hanky-panky, that they are a business. They start the project, the top of the project, name hanky-panky.
Oh yes, that's the idea. But yes, if they paid for it, I mean, you could easily go to Recondev or City Hall or Ministry of Works and find out if these guys paid for these streets to be hot mix in front of their house. If not, if nothing that they were sure that they paid for it, then they should be asked to you know.
But Carla, you know how much for hot mix?
I can only imagine.
So, I think that 2 million per mile or something to that effect.
Oh wow!
This year they not leave it a money, you know. And if you are able to haul the inside the money out of your pocket, you wonder what the FIU there. If you find out whoever, if it is a privately financed operation, you wonder why the FIU not look into this and what their source of funds. You know what's amazing? Yeah. When you get $200 or $300 from Western Union, You have to full out a farm. When they tell you what are the source of funds, where this money are for?
Yeah, Alfonso, and strangely because I don't know if anything happened a long time or just recently, but I know that last week, the whole area what they call Power Lane, where that's roundabout by Prince Belize in Belmopan.
The back,
all the way down to Ministry Lane, where you eat Ministry Lane by where BL Power Station there. Okay? All of that was happening last week too.
But let me say, I could throw my hands up on the one and say, congratulations for doing that.
Yes, I can. Yes,
because it is within Belmopan proper.
Yeah.
At the core of Belmopan.
And it was necessary because that place is so much past mayors and era reps they just neglect the place, so you know.
Yeah.
But it was a welcome, especially for people who drive and own vehicles, you know.
So I can say good for that. But how can you justify the paving and the street if it is being done with public funds to justify a street in the back and middle and nowhere in the Riviera area?
Yeah, well, like I say,
where two people live.
I don't know if I don't know who pay for it, no, but if it is that the municipality or whoever, Ministry of Works or whoever, I don't know who, but if it is that they do that, then something is wrong because before they got that, then the areas are some new areas, and they just come up. Then the house just built up back to no more than 10 years ago. And if you have other areas, you got a Miami where have been in existence for going and 30 years. You have San Martin, you have areas that are slow rested, you have areas right there in Abelopan City proper where need to be paved and things like that.
Populated areas, sir?
Yes, and yeah, that has been in existence long before the time, before the areas come up, you know. But yes, street infrastructure, boy, that one thing there, and I tell you, I remember some years ago, a former politician, they want to, I think they saw up at the way he said, we can't eat street, I think, what's not so run the money, my boy, so I tell you, so much money out of the budget going toward capital projects, and
yes,
right involved in that.
Yes.
I tell you something where I like it, so politicians that they call it a lot of words and rhetoric and play around and fool up the people there and the people go and vote for them afterwards.
Trick way.
You know?
Trick way and trick way. Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm glad that Google unlock it.
Yeah.
Take care, boy.
Yeah, thanks, my brother. Yeah, man. Now, like I was mentioning, if it is that it is private development and out of individuals' pockets, their money they come for pave the road there, we want to know how no finest size of money for the paved road. If it is that the Ministry of Infrastructure they do it, how is it that they don't find it in our heart to say we want forget the whole of Belmopan and we go and pave right up the chief engineer live and we part the one CEO Zatina live. They can't serious. But this is not something when new. This is what they have been doing all along. Right here on this morning show a couple of years ago, we pointed out that there was a development taking place opposite the Kontiki area there in Belmopan, where they take government resources to push and upgrade one road through, supposedly to reach Bullet Tree, but when you look on Google Maps, there is no way that road even come close to Bullet Tree. And they pave, then they clear it, they pave all kind of thing. Because, again, somebody in the Ministry of Infrastructure, family, own the land there, and the land may be up for sale. So they're using government resources for private gain. This is just crazy. Just crazy. Somebody said Fonso, the Hilltop Street, was scraped when Chanona was mayor. It's still not paved yet. It's not paved yet. But you go back at Rivera, man. Right by Rivera. Somebody said there's a fire by a police checkpoint. And if policeman barely got boots here. What they want got them fire extinguisher? Yeah, they abuse the resources. And then the people where the teachers they're going to negotiate with. Then the people where they're going to sit down right there and talk and say, oh, you know, please have mercy on us, have mercy on our little souls, because we the starve. You think they care? So they sides a house there. Then they're like presidential palaces. Good morning, hello.
Yes, good morning, Fonso.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, man. I don't know if it's your first morning back.
Yeah, it's the first one since last week, yes.
Oh, man, yeah, welcome back. This voice, the media house, is absolutely critical in these times, my brother.
Thanks, sir.
I don't know if Joey at the studio with you.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
All right, but you're sailing alone.
Yes.
Yeah, Fonso, but I just write a paper on the cost of corruption in Belize.
Uh-huh.
And much of what you've been saying over the last 5 minutes is dealing with corruption. And there's a huge cost, Fonso. One of the impediments to development in Belize, Fonso, is corruption. Corruption has dire consequences and costs, Fonso. For example, you've been talking about in terms of the budget, the focus is on infrastructure / road building, Fonso.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Fonso, one aspect of that is generally what we refer to as bloated contracts, inflated. And I would not put my head on the block that would not be one of the incentives for infrastructure development, and especially road building. You have to ask yourself in a sense, well, there's obviously, it could be a connection between the cost of roads and development. But you know, Fonso, if roads are actually seen as investment, they have to be strategic. And
yes.
They have to be placed where there is some aspect that connects them to return on investment. You don't want to put a road, and in a sense, you know, you've been saying, well, there's a road where, you know, not much people live.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you want to make sure that where resources are scarce, you want to make sure that that road is constructed or maintained or repaired in a place and at a geographic location where it serves an economic and critical social purpose.
Right.
So you don't want to put a road where 2 people live in a radius of 10 miles. So I believe it's a critical topic. From where I sit, Fonso, when you look at the issue of corruption, and I'm going a little bit on roads, when you look at the issue of corruption, Fonso, if me and you go apply to build a road, we could hire all the engineer that we want. You know, Fonso, that Judge Myvit, neither Judge Myvit nor Alfonso Noble would even be considered.
Nope.
And you know what, Fonso? This is a system that is not based on merit. It's based on political patriotism.
Connections, yep.
Yes. To begin with, Fonso, we are not a part of the insider circle. 1. 2, your name and my name is not associated with the party in government, Fonso.
Yep.
And I think especially you know, you're a UDP. Whether you're a UDP or not, you are labeled as a UDP.
Yep.
For me, I am, I have a social conscience also, and I would be the first one to praise the PUP if I thought that what they were doing was consistent with what I would define as the national interest. But and I go back to what Mr. Elrington said some time ago in the House of Representatives, that the PUPs are really a criminal organization that has gone into politics. And I don't know that they have done anything different to dispute that label that Mr. Elrington has placed on them.
I think they are insistent on living up to it.
Well, you're absolutely right, Fonso. Fonso, when you look at the cost of corruption, Fonso, and let us connect it to what I call the corruption value chain. There is a tender that goes out, not every time tender goes out. But let us in these circumstances, a tender goes out. You cannot be assured that the most competent person or firm that either has a track record or the capacity to deliver the best value for money will get that contract.
No, sir.
You see? And that generally that is not so, because money end up in the pockets of people along the corruption value chain. And every dollar that goes into corruption funds, you know what it does? It's a dollar that you can't spend on education, and it's a dollar that you can't spend for health care, and it's a dollar that you can't spend to build a house for a struggling single parent.
Let me encapsulate it as how Melvin Halls famously said it. When you thief the money, there is none to work. When you work the money, there is none to thief.
That's an immortal. That's like an immortal phrase.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it's a part of the malaise that has impeded the development of this nation, Fonso. I haven't listened to the budget. I've read a piece that has analyzed the budget, and I will tell you, Fonso, that generally, I will go through it in details, but generally what happens with the budget, as we know, there are two types of budget. Well, it's a range of budget. When government did the budget, that is referred to as the recurrent budget, Fonso. And that recurrent budget is really the core of what government does. And then there's the Capital 2 budget that deals with projects, and then the Capital 3 budget deals to a large extent with assistance and foreign assistance. The Cap 2 budget, most of the Cap 2 budget, I gather, is in relation to supporting tourism projects and road building. Normally, also, the recurrent budget, 80% of that Fonso is dedicated to salaries and generally issues associated with salaries, such as subsistence and overtime. And the term for that in terms of the government people and the accountants in government is emoluments. 80% of the budget, the core budget, that's the biggest budget, is in relation to emoluments, Fonso. So 20%, the remaining 20%, Fonso, cannot do anything development-wise, Fonso. And so you will find out, and you can check it out, that when you look at the sectors, when you look at forest department, when you look at a fisheries department, when you look at an income tax department, you know what has happened to those? Those budgets have either been reduced or they have been flatlined. And when you flatline a budget that was a skeleton budget from the previous year to begin with, you are basically saying there will be no development.
There will be nothing happening.
Nothing will happen there.
So you are paying workers to pay workers' sake.
Yes.
Because there is no production, there is nil. And in cases there is negative.
there's negative also. And you know what has gone on, somebody sent me and it's not an excerpt, but an opinion that, and I have to listen to the budget, that there's a proposal or a proposition to borrow some millions. I don't remember if it's 150 million or 250 million. And if that is so, and I'm not saying that it is so, but if that is so, it's a continuing trend that you're borrowing money to a large extent, as in the government is borrowing money to a large extent to support a debt. One of the crises in this country is the national debt. And although when you see what the purpose of those loans are for, it will not say to service the national debt, because that money generally coming will not service the national debt. But what it does, the revenues accruing to government that could have gone to development issues and development programs and development activities, those will go to servicing the national debt. And so what Belize has been doing is borrowing money not so much to assist development, but to service debts. And it is not sustainable, Alfonso. You see when the teachers have called their hands, Alfonso, and basically the teachers have said, well, listen, we need what is due to us. I believe the president of the PSU has basically said, we don't even call it one salary raise. We're calling it, whatever it is, it's due to us. The first thing that the government said was, we can't afford that. And Fonso, believe me, the country cannot afford it, Fonso. What I think needs to happen, Fonso, I believe that the PSU and the teachers union and all the other unions, they're not just two unions, it's in conversation with government, they basically need to say, you see that those raises that salary adjustment that you gave the FinSec and the CEOs, those need to be rescinded, Fonso. If you can't give us a raise, then those need to be rescinded. It is unconscionable, Fonso. I will tell you the core of the public service, people who work at the post office, people who work at income tax, it's not even hand to mouth anymore, Fonso. It's hand to hand. And if you are looking at the top of the pyramid, the CEOs, who are basically just political animals, these are people there that are there to serve the interests of the politicians. If you are looking at them and you're saying, you guys have been doing a wonderful job, and so we'll compensate you, I will say that those are the persons that are in the least need for a salary adjustment, an upward salary adjustment. So I believe that the focus should be in relation to asking the government that if you can't honor the teachers and you can't honor public officers, then that raise should be rescinded.
But
unconscionable. In my view, it's unjustified, and in my view, it needs to be rescinded.
Note something here though, Mr. Mavid, as it relates to rescinding this salary increase. The unions are not asking for it. The unions are not asking for the rescinding of the salaries. You know why? Because if they ask for the salaries to be rescinded, then that the government will say, well, boy, uno can't get a raise neither. So what are the unions playing the game? What game are they playing? Left them with a raise, that's fine. They get a raise, but we want to.
But also, and that's an important point that you're making, and I'm wondering why the unions collectively are not kind of raking the government over the coals, so to speak, in relation to making that salary adjustment, as I believe somebody had said, well, we never really asked for it.
Yeah, one of the CEOs said that they never asked for it, it's just the government showing their appreciation for the hard work that they do.
Right. And you know what that is saying? That is saying that the remainder of the service is probably not doing the work that they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that conceptually, I don't know that the government can afford, or I really don't believe that they can afford, because my understanding is that PM basically said, listen, this one costs you over $60 million to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, Fonso, remember that all of this talk about the economy growing by 8%. Fonso, if I am borrowing money, Fonso, my economic activity will obviously go up when you measure it in terms of goods and services.
But
I did buy stuff, Fonso,
yeah.
need to build fence, I did expand my house, but I'm not doing anything productive with the money, Fonso.
Yes.
But when you do the arithmetic of it, you will say, wait, but my bet is things are good with him, especially relative to the Caribbean. But when you really understand that the crisis that we have is debt servicing, then you will say, you know what, this is not sustainable. At some point, Belize will reach the end of its teeter in terms of its ability to borrow from the sources that it borrows from. And you know where we will end up, Fonso?
IMF.
The IMF. The IMF, Fonso. That will be the only resort left to us. And that is where we will end up. And you know what the IMF normally says? The wage bill.
The wage bill, increase taxes, cut expenses, cut the wage bill. That is their recipe. It's a bitter pill.
You know that thing, Fonso? That's spelled the R word.
Yeah.
Retrenchment. Fonso.
Yep.
And you know, this is one government that basically visited ex-prime minister is given over the call for that.
Continuously.
Bad word to them.
Yep.
But, you know, there's a culture of blaming the previous government. So if there's a need to send anybody home, they are blaming the poor UDP.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But, you know, I've been on it for a little bit.
Begging your indulgence a little bit here, Mr. Mavid. Just a little bit. The Prime Minister's speech, right? In 2024, according to recently published IMF data, Belize had the highest GDP growth rate in the Western Hemisphere at 8.2%, second only to the oil exporting nation of Guyana. 97 out of every 100 Belizeans who seek jobs are now working. This government has achieved a primary budget surplus each year in office. The minimum wage was raised for all workers by 50% to $5 per hour, and foreign direct investment has totaled $1.12 billion over the 4-year period, January 2021 to 2024. Not only was default vanquished, but the debt to GDP ratio currently stands at 61%, a level achieved 7 years ahead of the IMF's projected timeline. And he goes on and goes on and goes on. But my question is, this is the same speech he gave last year and the year before.
Yes.
So, and there is absolutely nothing in terms of the economy to substantiate what he is saying. People out there, they take a lick. People up on the street side know the work. Poverty there at an all-time high. When you say people actually they eat garbage.
Yes.
We need a so serious problem. So I don't know how it is that he could even get away with saying these things.
But Fonso, I would, well, apart from what I said earlier, I think that those figures really need to be checked, Fonso. And you know why? I volunteer with a certain organization, and we have been coordinating with a gentleman from a university in Belgium. He's doing a PhD thesis. And what he has said is that the national debt 2023 was close to what it was in 2021. The critique that I saw yesterday, remember the national debt is broken down into two areas, one, so it's broken down into domestic
and foreign.
debt and foreign.
Right.
The foreign debt fund, sir, is 1.5 billion
with a
US
B.
dollars, fund, sir.
That 3 billion.
That is 3 billion Belize dollars. And the national debt, I was surprised that the national debt, or not the national debt, the domestic component of the national debt was as much as and more than what the foreign debt was.
Wow.
And so yes, and so there has to be this fact checking. You know, everybody like check. McDonald Trump. I think that somebody needs to do a fact checking of our PM. Why am I saying this one? So I have done the arithmetic, especially related to the blue one myself, and a lot of what is being used, especially at the, let me call it the propaganda level, is not factual. And so I would, I would look at those World Bank data again, and I would examine those against certain things. So, for example, I believe that you had said that when you look at what we owe, there was a gentleman in the PUP that basically said that you don't owe it if it's not due.
Yeah, until you, yeah.
All right. So, if you have this kind of
mentality
going on,
yeah,
then you know you're not getting a true picture of where we
right.
are financially.
And you know, the debt to GDP ratio is definitely not what they are saying it is. What they have been doing, like the Taiwan loans, 15 I think it was last, or 10 of them that were just deferred. This year they were just kicked down the road. 2 years down the road, that is when it will actually become a debt, according to them. But no, it is a debt. It is a debt. We owe it.
Yeah, and you see, all of these things, Fonso, you have to take into account in relation to discussing the national economic picture. Again, Fonso, the part of the World Bank report that they will not talk about is what the challenges and limitations are for Belize. And one of them is bureaucratic corruption, the other one is nepotism, and the other one is political patronage. Those are there in the World Bank report, Fonso.
Mm-hmm.
But so when we discuss the World Bank report, you have to make sure that, or we need to be aware that there's also another part to the World Bank report, plural, that they will not be talking about. You see, so, and I think in terms of your last comment, although I guess it's the Prime Minister's job to paint quote-unquote a rosy picture, there's the organic aspect of it that me and you feel every time we go to the store and every time one bill becomes due. You know? So, things are obviously not good socially or economically in Belize. And I think that people are feeling it. And there's a need to basically ensure that the public understands the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not the truth according to the PUP.
The truth.
But the absolute truth.
But
not the relative truth, the absolute truth.
But do you not think that Belizeans actually know what happened?
Well, Fonso, you know, we feel it, but we don't know how critical it is, Fonso. So, for example,
I would beg.
With my fever, Fonso, and you know, the fever at 105. But he had fever before, but he doesn't understand that when you're at 105 degrees, F, it will throw you into convulsions. And so I believe that on two fronts, people understand where we are, one, but two, the daily struggles of survival for more half of the population, Fonso, is one where people, we know where we are, but we don't dwell upon it because I need for basically
but it is but Mr. Mavid, and this is what I'm saying, it is that daily press for survival, that daily struggle for survival that is telling the Belizean people that there are people that tell me nonsense. I know I could care less what they say because I know better. I know that when I go dip in my pocket, I short for pay my light bill, I short for pay my phone bill, I short for pay my water bill. I know that. So you could tell me that the world is all roses, but I the ticket of thorns. So you could holler where you want. I think the Belizean people have a grand understanding of what is happening. We the technique, that's what we understand. And the intelligentsia like yourself may want a fact checking.
Yes.
You no need for fact check. Not when you go to the Chinese store and what these slice of the happy cow cheese, you know the triangle cheese, that be 50 cents and now 65 cents. So there is no fact checking that the sign for the thing that said 65 cents now.
Yeah, it's a certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Mavid, thank you so much for indulging me.
All right, sir. And all the best because, this media is important at this time to continue to inform the Belizean people of not only where we are, but what our outcomes are. Have a good one, Fonso.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, the budget as presented by Johnny Bresenio is one that is, I don't know who write that for he or who he think he in the fool. He is telling us that the economy grew. It said, I read it here from Mr. Maivy just now. The GDP growth rate in the Western Hemisphere, according to recent, Belize had the highest GDP growth at 8.2%. He says that, but he cannot point to the areas where this growth actually took place. He says that there was foreign direct investment of 1.12 billion over the 4-year period from January 2021 to 2024. But where is that investment? How does the ordinary man benefit from that investment if indeed that was true? Then the true way somebody may tell me, this is our budget, this is our budget. And then they give you and they tell you the GDP ratio currently stands at 61%. How can the GDP rate stand at 61% when you are taking on loan on top of loan on top of loan on top of loan? I know previously we here on this show, along with Kenrick Izagiri and others, were trying to keep track of the amount of loans, external loans that the PUP was taking on, and they made it well over 1.5 billion in the first 4 years. Carl, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Fonso.
Yeah, man.
One question. Could you tell me at what House of Representative meeting since the PUP come in, there wasn't a loan motion presented?
The one that happened Friday last week.
When none?
The one that happened Friday last week.
Yeah, that was the only one when
the ceremonial opening.
Meeting.
The ceremonial opening.
Yeah, the ceremonial opening, correct.
So you can't tell me they never had no meeting without no loan? Every other bloody house meeting where they have, that loan, and in some cases 5, 6 different loans, you know.
Loan motion. Man, I don't know what's wrong with this crowd. I'm telling people that like for someone want to talk to you and tell you, you ask me this, you ask me don't tell me this, or like if I asked Ben Julie, I asked a question the other day. When it don't answer, let's move on. Like you don't question me no more.
But you the borrow for my head, brother.
Yes, my brother. You know what's the borrow is still? You the borrow and me to pay.
Oh.
And me to pay.
And they
watch you question every house meet except the one when I got the other day. There are 1, 2, up to 4 or 5 loan motion and Balea presented in the house.
And where did they borrow for, brother? You listen to the things that they borrow for. Climate resilience and investing in human capital and diversification and youth for something. Listen to me. Nothing but the ground, you know. And the actual things, make I just quickly say this, and the actual things that they actually pan the ground things, they cannot implement. Look at the hospital, the $90 million hospital. No green a standard move for that yet, you know. $90 million. $154 million for a solar panel thing.
Yes.
Nothing.
No, when they start.
And then they turn wrong. I want them the last loan before the last election. They borrow for batteries.
Yes.
They borrow for batteries. You hear me, friend?
Yes.
Batteries.
I don't understand this government, yeah, man. And then they want to lick you back up when you are saying about because you want to pay back for anything.
Yes, man.
Going to borrow and they take no money out of their pocket. Then another issue about the CEO. Then they don't work, you know. They only carry out the duties of the ministers. When ministers tell them to do, and then I'm carry it out, they just make sure that it goes out because the public officers they do the job. But the public officers they actually do the work. What's the other day again? Mother's Day. Then there's nothing wrong with that, you know, because you need to treat mothers right. Then spend money for Mother's Day fund so nobody knows where the money come from. All the PUP people they got big charade and things. Nobody knows where the money come from. It wasn't budgeted for. Nobody knows where it go on with them people here. But I tell you, this crowd sick a lot. Anyway, I got.
Yes, man. I will repeat. Something is rotten in the state of Belize, not Denmark, Belize. This one wicked, evil little place being run by the People's United Party under their stewardship. That one wicked, evil little place, as corrupt can be. PUP living up to the moniker given to them by Honorable Hubert Elrington. A criminal organization involved in politics. Criminal. Everything that they think, talk about and try to execute is all criminally oriented. Look at the contract given to that company, to the airport security company. Good morning. Hello.
Morning, fun.
Yeah, brother.
Why? Sometimes you say you want less things alone, the things play out, but fun so. Why the things of what this government is doing, not in 100 days, fun so. That done 100 days very ill.
Don't know 100 days yet. 100 days at 3 months now? 3 months and a half or something like that.
Okay then. Well,
June,
100 days.
Not even 100 days.
Before Fonso,
yeah.
The things where they are ballet it up, brother. Man, I want to know, like I always say, I want to know if Belizean is sleep at the wheel. No, Alfonso, I believe time after time I call you by this radio station, they tell you something, they in the ear, some way as Belizean, they inhale it, or they smell it, or it drop on their head. Why confusion?
like they give you at least something make you just be an idiot.
Yeah, man.
Make you just take it, boy.
Yeah.
Take it. Alright then, take it to the other.
Yeah.
Serious. That's something they spray in the air. Or they put it in the water, make we bathe with or something.
Something, brother, kind of like we the summer, we the sleep, like we know to see the corruption, or we know to see the stupidity, or we know to see what this government they say, or the prime minister say we don't got what talent, we don't got what understanding, or we fully for something, brother. Brother, this is not the first time the union went on negotiate. This is not the first time, Alfonso. I want to know what's wrong with the union. It look like where it was said, fool me once.
Shame on me.
Fool me twice.
Shame on you.
So I said,
or that fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
And I want to know that when they tell the union people when they go in and the negotiation, make them just come out calm, like Solly Mouse.
They're like all the bickering, all the hollering, everything done. And none of the fight for all the people, brother. Bro, so that's why when I tell you I start off that boy sometime I just want to make it play out. But it hurt you inside, boy. It hurt you inside, my brother. So it make you see what it happened. You understand? I don't drink the Kool-Aid yet. I don't drink the water yet. Or the thing not drop on my head yet. I think now why I still go. But others, I don't know what happened. I like it calm. It calm, brother. Now what are we doing in this country, brother? What we to do? The economy not to get better. There's no new growth business. There's nothing. It's one set of money circling, and it hit the same set of people, brother. What has this government done to move this economy forward? We have a prime minister. We always go holla. There's better. There's this, brother. There's nothing, brother. There's zero. One set of money to circle wrong in this country, and that's the way the government play with. And where we stand, brother, like, man, I don't know, Fonso. I don't know, brother. I don't know. I think we in this country need to get it right, but when we'll get it right, brother? When will that be the day? When the day will arrive? When the day will arrive, Alfonso?
No, good question, Papa.
Time is going. Fonso, me, I don't know to get young again, Fonso. We to try to fight for our picnic when they're behind where our grand picnic when they're behind where. But then we to fight for. Because time is coming for them.
You know, I have adopted this phrase, Kelly. Who can bear what dead?
Wow!
Who can bear what dead? I tell you.
Under this government.
Boy, look at you think that joke, no?
Under this government, boy, you better have survival instincts.
Oh.
You better know how to survive, boy. You better have survival instincts, cause brother, if you don't have that, brother, you are
dead.
I tell you a peg way.
I tell you who can bear what dead.
What? Your antenna have to the up, brother. Your antenna have to the up. Because the rough, then look for this thing again, Alfonso. The people where you used to depend on here at the US, they hook you up with a thing now and again. It get hard up with that too. And then if your government by your country can provide for you and they try to take away the little way you got. Because I think this government they rap for the poor to get to the rich, you know. I think this is how this government works. This government are a real miser. They rap for the poor and make sure the rich continue to survive. You understand? It's rough, brother. It's rough. So I want to know where will it do? What me believe that people, you know, brother. Right now, when me see the people, brother, me just shake my head, brother. Like I tell you, I can't help them. I can't hold a conversation. Because my survival have to the up. Like again we say, your survival antenna have to the up. You have to try and find a way how to survive and make the ends meet, brother.
Like Like I don't know if you may tune in earlier that like where the president of the BNTU tell the teachers, well you don't have to, if you don't have to bake bread, if you don't have to do a dinner sale, if you don't have to do something for you make you survive or not do it or not don't do it. Everybody have to find a side gig, Papa.
Yeah.
Everybody have to get one side gig. If you don't got a side, they tell you who can bear what dead.
That's true, fans, that's true. Honestly, that's true. Either you have to sell some clothes online, so use clothes, you have to make some extra thing home. So you understand me something, brother?
What you call a lead dip?
Why?
Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle.
You have to make Chipotle hotel. Really?
Yeah, brother.
I did tell you this earlier this week. I passed by one Chinese store. I pick up a couple soft drinks and I see a policeman in there. The policeman get one burger from the Chinese police. I'm thinking just me there. No, he's working there. Can I tell you good afternoon, welcome? How can we help you? This is a policeman, you know. Right at the door. So now they give him a burger. The Chinese give him a burger now, but it's part of the payment. And the man said, "Birds, I could beg you for a little wash down." I had to find out $2 and get the man. Things hard, and this is a policeman. The other day, me a yellow gun and a black factory. Policeman that the black factory. He looked like he now one worker at the place. All the uniform, dusty, Kelly. I said to myself, my God, they can't believe with the living now. They can't suffer we people have to the bear now. Are you think government care? All CEOs get raised. Chester did a Guyana right now. Guyana, so place.
I have a friend, I know in our mind. Cannot say name, but if people know I in the public eye our customer service man. You understand? I know my friend now, man. I said, my friend worked at the bank fund, so my friend got a side gig that was drugstore.
Yes, my brother. I am telling you.
He know what teller at the bank, you know, and he have another job working at a drugstore, brother. When I see the man right for stuff, I think the man own it. I tell the man, why you get a little loan to open the spread? The man said, get a loan. He said, I think I afford a loan. The man said, why this is my second job? The man said, why Kelly, I don't like you. You say, oh, you a juggler all around that. He said, why me can't get a second thing too? That's what it happen right now. So how the government, what it say, the country, they run good. Because everybody, they try put two things together. Because the bills, they get bigger. Because when the economy get rough, the bills, they go bigger. I tell you, my friend, when the man say, boy, I tell him, boy, yes, I hear all around now, but end of the day, brother, it's rough. Because when you are all around that boy, so days fun, so that's why couple days you don't see me to take a leave behind. You're tired after that.
You can't. You just want to throw on and hope that tomorrow never come. That you get like 3 days rest in a one sleep. You get up, you go grind back again.
Boy.
I mean the talk, me bale agan ga deal with my vehicle for tenta vehicle, right? Shaba, he na barber, he tint vehicle, he deliver food, and he do run man anything to survive.
That real fun, so that real most of the thing there. Some another do barbering and another do next time, but I do others if you have to make I do all you run wrong for I will do it. If you want I do at least I got survival fun, so it's about surviving right now in this country, but the government not look on it that way there. The government they tell the country and tell the people lie everything is good when it's not. When it's not, it's good for them, you know. It's good for them. They fly. They all over the world. When different events come, they're ready for it because they spend the people money. So they're not worried. They don't feel no way. They don't feel no pain.
And when they feel the pinch, just get a raise, man.
Yeah.
Just get a raise. What the problem is?
Yeah.
I use it for the fancy vehicle when they ride around. One minute said I enjoy king a brand new Haval, brand new.
Easy man, just
plastic dip still up on the seat.
You know, things are raised on your flush.
But look at you move.
That's what cover all the bills. Just send in value $5,000 raise, man.
Why not?
Good.
Why not?
Boy.
Those who can't bear want dead.
Well, fun so like I always say, brother, that's what the people voted for. That's what they want. I feel sad for them because this time the country just as them. I have to work through with this government here, just as them, but they made the choice. They said, no, this is the government. But
Kelly, one lady call ya, Liwa Lagu. He say, I say, all of the teachers, they got a green shot. Why they got a green shot? I never did answer. He said, they should put on the PUP shot where they had on where it says, say Pachak. That's the shot where they should have had on.
But sir, that lady never ran, that car never ran, a lot of them have a say Pachak. But sir, that lady never ran, that them for the weird not a green shot. I agree that lady, but but a rough man, I just hope we keep God in our heart, boy, and we pray, boy. That's the only thing we set we free. Make we pray, boy. Praying good, you know, fun, so praying good.
If nothing else, it make you feel better.
Yep, only that, boy. I got, man.
Yeah, later. All right. We need to take our last break. It's 11 minutes after 9. We're going to leave it over time. 9 minutes after 11. 11 after 9, we'll take a commercial break. Last one, I'll be right back.
Ready for fantastic discounts. From now through to September 30th, Venice is having store-wide discounts on tools, paints, appliances, plumbing and electrical products, lights and fans, household items, and much, much more. Visit a Venice store near you to enjoy fantastic discounts from now through to September 30th. Only at Venice. Quality and savings.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Evening, everybody. No one, not two, but 3 fan TV and all the lights. Hey!
Small changes, like turning off lights and appliances when leaving the room, can make a big difference in your energy usage. Talk to your family about energy management today. Do a little, conserve a lot. Need help? The BEL 24/7 app has tools to get you on the right track. Download today and let's talk energy management.
Every purchase at Design Depot gives you a chance to win one of 2 $2,500 shopping sprees. Design Depot, all in one place. Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway.
Need to send payments to Belize? No long lines, no delays, no stress. With OneLink Mobile, sending payments to Belize is as easy as a tap. Convenient and secure. OneLink Mobile keeps you connected wherever you are. Send payments to Belize with just one link. Convenient and secure payments anytime, anywhere. Download our mobile app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. OneLink Mobile. Welcome to the future of payments.
Construction, Aggregates and Trucking, Sand and Gravel, Premium Black Soil, Crushed Stones, Washed White Sand, River Stones, Concrete Mix, and much more. Fus Construction, Aggregates and Trucking has everything. Visit us at our new branch located at mile 5.5 George Price Highway, right across from Old Belize. You can pick up any material or get it delivered straight to your door. We deliver by the truckload, the cubic yard, and even by the sack. Call 611-6600. That's 611-6600. Fus Construction, Aggregates and Trucking.
Looking for great deals on electronics? Then stop in at VIP Wireless at number 14 Orange Street, Belize City. We have Fire Stick, Roku, and Comcast devices starting at only $79.99. We also carry smart television sets at unbeatable prices. Looking for name brand cell phones? We have them all at incredible prices. We also have power banks, wireless speakers, headphones, and much, much more. Visit us 14 Orange Street in Belize City or call 227-1431. VIP Wireless, connecting you to the world through technology.
Enhance your spaces with Beat Air Freshener aromas, crafted by inspiration drawn from around the Caribbean. The Beat Exotic Blends Air Freshener collection offers fresh, fruity, and floral fragrances, such as Flowers of Paradise, Mango Papaya, Pina Colada, Pink Lemonade Zing, Radiant Sunshine, and White Sand Beaches. Treat yourself to the revitalizing aromas of the Beat Exotic Blends Air Freshener collection.
Beat for a happy, healthy home. It starts with Beat. It starts with Beat.
The bank, remember the loan? Oh man, it's late.
No need. Heritage Bank have e-loans with special interest rates when you apply online. Residential mortgages, vehicle loans, and credit cards.
Yeah, but the bills, man, the bills, light, water, you know, oh man.
Harry, you the big dramatic. You the old school, man. Come on now. With Heritage Bank, all of that could be done online. Any bill you could think about, you could pay online with Heritage Bank. Now where you really want to go for though?
Oh, babe, the Chapman, they come today, and I need to go to the ATM to get some cash.
Why?
I show no cash no in that the computer.
Go online today for quick and easy access to our application at your fingertips. You now have the convenience of applying for your loan from your desk or home. It's simply bringing banking to you. Some restrictions apply. Heritage Bank, the bank that gives you more.
Welcome back to Wednesday's edition of Fus Ting Da Mawnin, live from Studio 2, Wave 105.9. We are live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Alfonso.
Yes, good morning, Deloy. What's up?
Apparently you're home alone this morning. No, I guess this is home alone 7.
Yes.
And there were 6 editions already. So this must be home alone 7.
Yeah.
But you're doing a great job, my brother.
Thank you.
Really enjoying the discussion. I don't know if enjoying is the right word.
Yeah.
But the discussion is good.
Mm-hmm.
But subject is bad.
Boy, all subjects that I touch this morning are bad. All, bar none.
That's right. By the way, the morning started off in Belmopan. I don't know what happened where you are, but the morning started off with a blackout for about 10 minutes or so.
That will wake me up.
Yeah. And it has been a consistent thing. The only thing consistent about the energy supply these days is that you have one blackout every minute.
The consistent thing is that it is inconsistent.
That's right. And why this is the administration that sat on its rear end for 5 years and did nothing at all to address the situation where the energy crisis is concerned. And in fact, he reminded us a little while ago that they borrowed 154 million from the Saudis, presumably for a solar project, which they still haven't even identified where they intend to put the project, let alone, as you said, even put one shovel in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this persistent situation with energy. Every 2 minutes now, if the light no go completely, it'll flicker,
Yes.
Right?
And then it's appliances.
Yes, playing havoc on people's appliances and so on. Appliances, no? And then remember when the people in the productive sector, specifically the Belize Solar Industry Alliance, when they offered to help to resolve in a long-term and sustainable way this energy situation, this energy crisis, instead of providing some incentive, the government passed new legislation to discourage them. You remember that?
Yes. With some massive fees that they have to pay on a yearly basis to even get into the sector that I don't know, boy.
Imagine the people in the productive sector are offering to try to help to solve the situation, and instead of providing some incentive, the government in fact added on new disincentives to discourage them from getting into the industry. And then, by the way, Alfonso, when I haven't gotten an opportunity to delve completely into the Prime Minister's budget, but I have to do so with the magnifying glass to find where the taxes are, because for sure there will be new taxes.
Yeah.
But one of the things that jumped out on me, as you said, he keeps repeating the same things every year in his budget presentation. One of the things that jumped out at me again is when he talked about growth, about the GDP.
Yes.
He's claiming that, listen to what he said. He said the secondary sector grew by 5.7%, fueled by strong electricity generation and construction activities. Strong electricity generation,
Yes.
Man, this man must be crazy. He claims the secondary sector growth of 5.7% is fueled, among other things, by strong electricity generation. Why will I not see what part the strong? What do you talk about, gas turbine?
Boy, I don't know, because the gas turbine in San Pedro, the one that they have tried to commission, I don't think that has even been commissioned yet, has it? Or it has some failures to it.
I think it might have. But how can the secondary sector growth be fueled by strong electricity generation when they still can't start the much heralded solar project?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the productive sector try to offer to produce energy, to generate energy to feed into the national grid, they openly reject it and in fact pass new legislation to discourage them from doing so. So boy, I don't know about a strong electricity generation there. Well, generated by who? By Mexico?
Most possibly, boy. That is the only then I tell us that they have a strong generation. No we.
Why?
No we.
The only strong generation we got, the strong generation of garbage.
And strong generation of corruption.
That's right. Why? But I can't understand what the hell he's talking about. And then in terms of the debt, as Brother Mivit was talking earlier, why? Well, we can't do simple arithmetic then. Every time they come to the house, as somebody reminded us earlier, every time they come to the house after the inaugural session during the last term, every time they came to the house, they were another loan motion or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 sometimes, right? So and then the Prime Minister now is claiming that the debt has hardly grown any at all since they came to office.
Well, so what happened to the over 3 billion with a B that them borrow? Is not a part of the national debt.
Yes. And that is the debt that goes to the house, because we have domestic debt that is just there. We don't even know where it stands. Mr. Maivit alluded to the fact that it may well be double the foreign debt.
Yep. So boy, I don't know what he talk about. And so that is the situation, and so people need to get into that budget and delve into it for themselves, and then there will of course be the budget debate on the 26th now.
I was looking at very cursorily at the book, at the estimates, no? And I looked at BTL and the revenues that we're receiving from BTL now. It gone from 20 million to just about 1 million.
Well, that's just a trickle. Imagine.
You know why? Do you know why?
Because everything is going to smart.
The government has actively sought to change all the numbers over to smart in some kind of a numbskull corrupt move to enrich the family members of the Prime Minister. To the detriment of the people of Belize.
That's right.
That was a sure revenue source for this country, Sure.
Yeah. Thanks to the United Democratic Party, which took it back from those sharks that they sold it to and returned it to the people of Belize. Now what they do, they have literally disemboweled and eviscerated that company for the benefit of Smart, which is owned by the Briseños. Why, it's crazy what they have done. On another note, Alfonso, you will remember that last week, I think it was Wednesday, I raised with you guys the matter of the Nurses Association of Belize. Yeah, because there was this rejected PUP former Belmopan City Councillor who was attempting a hostile takeover of the Nurses Association of Belize. And let us belatedly wish all the nurses in this country a belated happy Nurses Week. Nurses Week ran from the 5th of May until the 12th. It ran like from part of the week up until the 12th. The 12th would have been what? Sunday?
Sunday, yeah. I think so.
Yeah. The 12th. Well, today is the 14th, so today is Wednesday. It would have been Monday, I guess.
Monday, right. Monday. Right, sorry, Monday.
Okay, so smack in the middle or a little towards the end of that, they had their voting, their elections. They had a convention, a conference in Spanish Lookout where they selected or they voted for a president and an entire central executive. And so there was this PUP, this rejected former PUP councillor who was attempting a hostile takeover of the Nurses Association of Belize, One Hope Amadi. And we cautioned the nurses about even thinking about voting for him to be any president of the Nurses Association of Belize. And I can remember there was a nurse, a retired nurse it is, right?
Yes, retired nurse. Who called and said, keep politics out of the association.
Yeah. Well, I believe the nurses already were not inclined to go that way anyway, but I guess the caution from the retired nurse kind of solidified in their mind that that was not the way they wanted to go. And so the elections took place, and the incumbent president, Nurse Renita Pop, won by a comfortable margin over Amadi. It went something like 54 to 17, like 3 to 1.
All right. Good.
3 to 1.
By thank God for small mercies.
Thank God for that. And coincidentally, as one of the things I've said to you is that the current executive and the president of that Nurses Association have been doing a stellar job in terms of pushing issues for the welfare and the efficiency and effectiveness of the whole nursing community in Belize. One of the things they have been pushing hard for are hazard allowances, right? And night shift allowances.
Okay.
You notice coincidentally that all of a sudden out of the blue now, the government announced, among other things, that they are going to offer a package now to the nurses. You notice that?
Yes.
And so obviously that association, they are doing their job because they pressure the government into providing better
working conditions,
work conditions for the nurses.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things they're talking about now, the 4 million nursing retention package to support public health nurses, who represent 57% of the country's workforce. Roll out in 3 phases. The package will include an increased uniform allowance, 300 to 500, a 10% specialist allowance for all nurses with performance-based increments. 2026, the nurses will receive a $200 monthly hazard allowance and $100 overnight allowance for 10 consecutive night shifts. And then they said by 2027, additional benefits including a $150 motor vehicle maintenance allowance, $75 telephone, and $350 availability allowance. Allowances for nurses, leaders, and $150 rural allowance. All of this is the achievement of that President Benita Pop and her executive. But of course, anything that is promised and committed by this PUP administration, you have to take it with a whole, not grain of salt, with one drum of salt.
A chocolate as
which is exactly why we need that same president and executive in place. Make them continue to insist on the implementation of these promises now that are on paper. They need to make sure that those promises are kept.
Because we know
implemented.
We know very well that the People's United Party is all about promises and never on delivery.
That's right. Which is why you can't afford to have any president of these unions and associations with a cozy with the PUP government. Right? So you don't need no Amadi there. Because when time comes, he insists on the implementation of these things, he won't cover for them.
Yep.
Right? Because he's politically exposed. So congratulations to the nurses for making sure that they keep one of their own, true peer, one of their true peers, who identifies with and appreciates and in fact lives the same reality that all of them are living. Not this politically exposed person who automatically has transformed and morphed into a registered nurse. So kudos to the Nurses Association. I sent you a picture. I sent you a picture of the president. Maybe you could have posted the picture, make everybody see the great president of the Nurses Association of Belize and the wonderful job she and her executive have been doing there for the Nurses Association of Belize. You could have sent a picture to someone, maybe you could post it up, make people see the good leaders of these associations that we have, who have to continue to hold the government to task. I know her mission and her executives, they have taken an approach that then try not to be too confrontational or too adversarial in terms of dealing with the administration and so. But they are firm in terms of what they are pushing for their association. And as I had said to you, it is not only what they are doing to pressure the government for better conditions for the nurses, but they also have been doing great job in terms of linking up with other regional and international bodies. Like I had pointed out to you, for example, one of the things that they have done is to ensure that Belize becomes a full member of the Caribbean Organization of Nursing, as well as the international one. I don't have the exact names of those organizations at my finger point right now, but they have ensured that Belize has good representation in these regional and international bodies. So, when you look at, for example...
Go ahead.
You were saying, Alfonso?
No, I was just going to put up the picture of... but go ahead. When we're done, maybe we recognize her.
Yeah. All right. So, what I also wanted to say that in the current context, you see how important these unions and associations are right now, because you see the teachers and the public servants, their unions have just come out of that meeting with the government officials, the cabinet team that was put together to meet with them. And again, as I heard Kelly saying earlier, man, how much time the negotiations will have to happen in the PSU and the teachers and this government, boy?
Boy, plenty. And listen to me, every time they walk out of that thing, they come out with a bag of promises and nothing is ever delivered to them. That is sickening. And they allow it.
That's right.
The leadership allows it.
And I said, this is one of the things you need to make sure that you have the right leaders in these unions and associations, because they will have to continue to take the government to task whenever they renege on anything they promise you in those meetings. Because imagine how many times, every time, as I told you, the one playbook they have, I remember we predicted it. They will roll out Cordell Hyde again to lead it, and so said, so done. It's the same playbook every time. They roll out Cordell, nice talking Cordell, and he goes and sit down with the people, other cabinet ministers, and then talk the sweet talk, and they promise the teachers and the public officers all kind of thing, and they come out, everything honky doors, kumbaya, and then the cycle begins all over again. How much you are wager that very soon we'll be right back at square one with those unions again,
I am not a betting man. I am not a betting man, but I would take that wager 10 to 1 or 100 to 1, sir.
Absolutely.
So this is Nurse Renita Pop. You said right there, Roy? The president of the Nurses Association, and we want to congratulate her on her new election, and keep on spearheading the nurses in the manner in which you are. You are achieving, you are doing well for the nurses. Please keep on doing so.
Yeah, I want to emphasize it is not just her, it's an entire team, but she leads the team as president. They have their central executive is like 10 people strong. Right? That represents different areas, different interests in the nursing family in Belize. So once again, I just want to congratulate the Nurses Association of Belize for rejecting political interference in their association and re-electing their capable and competent president, who, along with her executive, have been doing a splendid job to look out for the interest of the nursing community in Belize. And I know earlier you were discussing health, and that is one of the most important things in the nation. So once again, congratulations to the Nurses Association of Belize. Good morning, Alfonso.
Good morning, and Delroy, and thanks for the call. Well, it's 9:38, or a little bit over time, but it's time for us to go, for me to go. I'll be back here tomorrow. I want to thank all of those persons who joined us, who listened to us, who diligently turn on Wave Radio every morning to listen to our version of things. I want to thank those who send us information, who diligently as well send us information and keep us abreast as to what's happening across the country. We're unable to be everywhere, but with people like you guys who send us information and keep us abreast of what is taking place, we will be able to continue to maintain the nation informed. With that said, thanks to everyone, wherever you listen to us, wherever you watch us. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Until then, good morning. Hasta la vista. Sambo.